I think somehow I made a friend. But someone was taking out the vampires following me. I hope he knew the infinite ammo code.
I kept firing to clear up my Mark's pursuers. I hoped he got away soon. I was running out of ammo.
I hope they tidy up soon. I think I still have laundry to do.
I watched the last vampire turn to dust, and I stopped to catch my breath. I shot a thumbs up to whoever was helping me. Thank you! I looked everywhere. Wherever you are.
I lead the kid down an alley. This way! He followed me like he was a puppy.
So what is the name of my savior?
They call me Mr. Quilt. I could feel him looking me over, staring at my stitches.
I can see that. So where are we?
Almost there. Ugh. Oh God, this kid was going to be a talker.
I looked in my rear-view mirror and smiled. Finally, the two boys were heading towards my limousine.
Liu Bia drove us back to home base.
As I rode in the back of the limousine, I couldn't believe I was in a limousine. And I noticed our chauffeur was driving with his feet.
It took me some time to drive with my feet. It helped that I had modified the limousine for this. I couldn't use my hands due to the straitjacket. I'm guessing that needs an explanation. It was back in 1886. My father was a British lord who had an interest in the exotic. That's why he ordered my mother from Korea. I don't remember if it was called Korea at the time, but I digress. My father loved my mother until he grew bored. He found a new wife and kicked my mother out to the streets when she was pregnant with me. To make sure that she and I were fed, my mother would wash clothes for the rich, and by the world's oldest profession. It's how she made our meager living, until one night she didn't come home. I waited the whole night for her to come home, then 2 nights, then a week. I finally decided to go looking for my mother. I found her body. Much to my horror and sadness, it broke my heart that I couldn't bury the woman who loved and took care of me. I was merely 10 years of age at the time. Oh. I lived on the streets, which was hard. It was made harder by the other children making fun of me for being different. From that moment on, I decided that since life had taken so much from me, I would take everything that was kept from me. I don't remember the first thing I stole, but I remember the one thing that mattered. I was climbing the trellis of a mansion. I climbed through the window into a dark bedroom. I found a beautiful jewelry box on the nightstand. I stared at the woman who owned the jewelry box as she slept. I tiptoed carefully, as not to disturb her. Each one of my steps sounded like someone dropping a heavy weight, at least to me.
Who are you? And what are you doing?
I heard someone shout behind me.
Who are you? What are you doing?
Me and my fellow thief looked at the woman in shock. Oh! I don't remember how I and my fellow thief escaped the mansion, but I do remember running from the constables. The female thief and I managed to lose the constables. As I regained my breath, I decided to give her a tongue-lashing. "What were you doing? That was my score!" She gave me a look of indignation.
Your score? I had been casing that place for years.
Well, it took me a month, so I guess I'm the better thief. I went to walk away. You know what they say, sweetheart. You snooze, you lose. She reached out for me.
Wait.
I stopped and looked back at her. She hung her head in shame.
I don't care if you keep the jewels.
I gave her a puzzled look. Oh?
I just want the medallion.
Medallion?
It's ruby, with the head of a raven made of onyx.
I rifled through my newly acquired gains and found the medallion she described. This looks like the most expensive item out of the bunch. The girl looked away from me.
That's not why I want it.
I gave her a dubious look. Is that right?
My mother served that woman for years. She stole it from her. I was trying to get it back.
The story touched my heart for a moment. I dangled the medallion before her. She held out her hand expectantly. I smirked. "One question." She gave me a look of surprise. I guess she didn't expect a question.
Yes?
What was the old woman's name?
She
panicked. I put the medallion back in my pocket. Nice try. You almost had me. I started walking away again. I stopped again and smiled at her. How would you like to earn your keep?
How?
She looked at me in shock and confusion. The young thief, Elsie, wasn't just a great partner in crime. After a few years working with each other, I made her my life partner. One night, we had invited ourselves to a ball, and we danced the night away. Surprisingly, without being caught. As the party died down, me and my love found a corner to talk. "You look gorgeous, my darling."
It's because I have a handsome man as my accessory.
I stared at her. It's missing something, though. She seemed taken aback.
What else could I need?
My smile broadened. Close your eyes. She glared at me.
What?
I glared back at her. Just close your damn eyes. Elsie reluctantly complied and closed her eyes.
All right. Give it to me.
I put something around her neck. And once I was done, open your eyes. She opened her eyes and looked down in surprise.
Oh my God!
I had placed the medallion she sought after so long ago.
I don't know what to say.
I smiled and shrugged. You could be my wife. She embraced me and gave me the most passionate kiss. I took that as a yes. We committed more robberies. I don't know how long we spent in that cell. But it was long enough for us to start going mad. I paced the cell deep in thought. Elsie watched me in annoyance.
How are we getting out of here?
I'm thinking!
Maybe I could help.
Me and Elsie looked at each other in surprise. Huh? Me and Elsie peered around to the next cell, well, as best we could, to see our neighbor, a young a young Romani. Can't be using the G word these days. Man. He had a cocky smile on his face.
This is quite the predicament, no? What are you in for?
Burglary. What brings you here?
Loitering while being me.
I understand that. The Romani shrugged.
Anyway, my name is Sasha, and I might have a way out of here.
We were excited.
Really? How?
We heard footsteps.
Shh, the guard is coming. I'll tell you tonight.
I was so excited to escape that sleep sneaked up on me.
Hey, wake up.
I woke up in shock. What the? A finger pressed against my lips.
Shh. It's time.
I saw the Romani standing over me. How? He put his finger to my lips again.
I'll explain later. Let's go.
We made our way through a tunnel following Sasha. I looked around in surprise. How long did this take?
Now, leave me some secrets.
I was growing suspicious of our savior, but my excitement over our escape was stronger. I and my wife continued to follow our Romani friend. We reached the end of the tunnel.
We're almost there.
I and my wife were excited that freedom was so close until...
Darren.
Damn! We ran as fast as we could. But the constables and the hounds were catching up quickly. I thought we were sure as caught until a miracle, at least that's what I thought it was at the time, happened. As Sasha tripped, he fell to the ground. Hard. I and Elsie saw this as an opportunity to keep running. Sasha reached out and called for us.
Wait, where are you going?
I turned to look and wave at Sasha. Bye! Thanks for your help! We continued to run as he shook his fist at us.
You bastards!
The constables had caught Sasha. Me and Elsie managed to escape, or so I thought. I heard of Sasha's grim fate later. He was hung shortly after his escape attempt. We spent a few days on the lam. We found ourselves in a village outside of London. We had found a home in an abandoned shack. We were safe, or so I thought. Elsie and I were sleeping. Deeply. So deeply that we didn't notice our guests.
Wakey, wakey.
I awoke to see several large Romani men standing over me.
The madame would like to speak to you.
Then they proceeded to beat on me. After the Romani thugs had made their acquaintance, they pushed me and Elsie towards the outskirts of the village.
Get going.
We were brought to a Romani wagon and forced into chairs before an elderly Romani woman. Her wrinkled face seemed to stare into our souls.
You two are quite the heavy sleepers.
I looked around in confusion and grogginess. What do you want? The madam sneered at me.
Revenge.
We were brought to a clearing in the woods and forced to the ground. The old Romani woman stood before us in different dress and various strange items in her hands. She glared at us, especially me, with hatred.
You left my grandson to die.
Are you going to kill us?
No, I would never give you that release.
Then what are you going to do with us?
The old Romani woman sneered at my wife.
Since you wanted to be free as birds, you will be free as birds.
Elsie and I awoke. Back in our home in the village.
Where are we?
I don't think we went anywhere. I don't remember the ritual the madam did, but I am forever aware of the results. At first, we thought we had gotten away with our crime. We went back to our routine. Until me and Elsie woke up in the strangest places. We would wake up a lot in chicken coops.
Huh?
Covered in feathers and gore. We eventually figured out our curse. At first, we would change at night. Into raven monstrosities. We thought it was a boon for a while. We would change into our bird monster forms. Terrorize a few people. Then, once we had changed back to human form, we would take whatever was left. This worked, for a while, until the curse changed. One night, we transformed. But we couldn't change back, not even during the day. We only discovered the new aspect of our curse as we were caught in a fishing net. We found that freedom was our trigger, so we got creative. Elsie tied her hands in front of her with a bit of bedsheet, while I went a little too extra by wearing a straitjacket. We continued our reign of terror. Then came the day that changed everything. We were terrorizing people as usual. We chased some villagers into an alley. Little did we know, this was a trap. Elsie was flying behind me. When a large net was dropped on her. I looked back in shock. As several people jumped on my wife. I was going to fly back and help her. The net was thrown over me, and several more people piled on me. We converted to our human forms. The villagers shouted at us as they threw garbage at us. One of the villagers pointed to...
Finish them off!
yourself into an